हेलो। हेलो। कुछ नहीं हुआ।
Good morning, everyone present today. Please join me in welcoming our respected Dean Madam, Dr. Shrivati Natrai, our QAP coordinator, Dr. Jigna Patas ma'am, and on behalf of Institute Medical College and Hospital, welcome our speaker for today, Mr. Salim Jafri sir. His topic for today is Why Students, a motivational session by successful innovators. Sir has done mechanical engineering, followed by Masters of Engineering in Mechanical.
Hello, you're mute.
Yeah, sorry for the technical glitch. Um, Sir has done his BTech in Mechanical Engineering, followed by Masters of Engineering in Mechanical with specialization in CAD and Robotics from Mumbai University. He is also a proprietor of robots that deals in manufacturing and development of automation and mechatronic systems. He is a certified innovation ambassador by the Ministry of Education's Innovation CIATE for the institution's Innovation Council. He is currently an assistant professor in the Mechanical and Automobile Department at Pillai College of Engineering, Navi Mumbai. We are thankful for you to take out time for us with your valuable lecture, sir. So after the lecture, there will be a question and answer session where the faculty as well as the students can pose their questions. I now request you, sir, to start with the session.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So my name is Salim Jafri, as ma'am has introduced to you, and I've been working in startup community and into business since last 5 years, since 2017. I guess it's 4 years. Yeah. So I started my startup and all these activities in 2017, late 2017, December. Uh, I finished my post graduation in CAD CAM and robotics. CAD CAM, I know you, like being from dental background, I hope few of you might know what is CAD CAM, because dental people are related to CAD CAM process for making your dentures and all those things, I guess. So that was my specialization in my post graduation in mechanical, basically. So I'm more into towards engineering and mechanical manufacturing and production of engineering technologies and engineering products. And robotics is the other specialization of my post graduation, where I kept on having interest in my automation and robotics subjects, and I pursued that as my career and my business also later on. So after completion, so I will be sharing my whole journey. I will be starting my journey where I failed, about other ventures. This is my third venture, Bombay Bots, which has been displayed in the brochure, which you have got, everyone. So Bombay Bot is my third venture right now, currently working, and it is going quite good. So, but how I got into Bombay Bots, what all the failures I went through, I would like to share all those experience, if that would be helpful for you to uh, how to do business and all those things. So in 2017, after my post graduation, I got my first job as a lecturer itself, and with my first salary, I just went up into registering one organization, business organization, that is called LLP. LLP is Limited Liability partnership firm. Liability, partnership firm. Okay, so the liabilities are very limited between two partners. That is called LLP. So there are different types of business firms that you can open, just like private limited, LLP, or um, just uh, proprietor, which I am right now for Bombay Watch proprietor. So there are different meanings for this particular terms in business. When you open a shop, you can open as a proprietor. When you open a business, you can open as a proprietor. When you open a big organization where you have a turnover more than over a crore or 100 crore turnover, then you can register your organization as a private limited or LLP and all those things. So you can go to any CA. Uh, he will guide you towards how to register your firm for what particular or specific business you want to. So he will suggest you that you should go with so and so uh, organization with your specific business. So initially I registered one LLP with Materials and Makers Cart Machinery LLP, where I decided to sell some machinery equipments like screws, nuts, and all those mechanical equipments which are very specific. Basically, Amazon for mechanical products. So if anybody wants to buy some kind of nut or magnet or any particular thing that is mechanical with all these specific or specifications listed on the website, that was my plan. But eventually I failed. I couldn't pursue that uh, idea, and I still have that company, but it's not working. So that was my how I started my journey into business without knowing any, without having any MBA or any business experience. I don't have any family background of business that my father or forefathers have been into business or something. Neither I had any business exposure, but I had some idea. I just wanted to pursue that idea, so I went to CA and I registered that company. But I couldn't work on that idea because I didn't know how to do business. So that was my first uh, company, which is almost shut. There is nothing going on in that company. That was Makers Cart and Machinery and Material LLP. So that was my first organization where I got to know business. Doing business is not just opening a, just registering yourself as a CEO or founder or something, and you start earning. It's not like that. And then there was one friend, like my classmate in post graduation, who was also into some similar kind of interest of doing business, and he had some idea about opening a startup regarding fitness. So that was called Sportial. So the name of that business was Sportial. Sportial means a sports, a social platform for sports. So sports ka sport and shell from social, that is called Sportial. So we created an app called Sportial, where everyone can get into that app. They can make friends, and they can hang out with those friends for playing specific sports. So if anybody is interested playing badminton, so they can make friends with a similar interest playing badminton, cricket, football, and we listed like 30 other sports like carom and uh, 30 indoor and outdoor sports in that app, where people can make friends based on their interest. And that was the uh, basic feature of making friends. But moreover, we were listing the nearby playgrounds that are not been listed on Google. For example, if I have a badminton court in my society, which is not listed on Google Map or something, right? So we give the nearby playgrounds or badminton court, tennis court, swimming pools, which are available nearby to those players. They can meet up, they can go, they can practice, they can play matches, and they can put their scores or whatever their analysis or however the scoring happens for that particular sports can be feed into that app. And based on that information from the users, how they are playing, we could analyze how they are playing, how their skills are developing, through our artificial intelligence that we integrated in this app. So this I started with my friend as a co-founder, and he was a founder of this idea. And we started this app in 2017 February. Uh, yeah. So I just missed the year earlier. I got my first job in 2016 December, and I registered my LLP in 2016 December, and then in 2017 February I started with this portion. Yeah, in 2017 we started, and for 2 years we bootstrapped. With, if anybody knows, anyone has a question, they can send on the chat. So, okay. So we bootstrapped our idea. If anybody know what is bootstrap, if they don't know, they can let me know if they want me to explain the bootstrap. Basically, it is funding your own idea. You don't need to look for investors or any uh, loans or something. You collect your money from your people around you, families and relatives, and you invest your money based on trust. That's the basically the meaning of bootstrapping. You put your own money to fund your idea initially. So for first 2 years, like 2017 and 18, we bootstrapped our idea. We invested like 20 to 25 lakhs, taking some loan and something, and we developed this app. We launched this app on Play Store. We got some good feedback, and we got some 2000 users, around 2000 users on this app. And then we started pitching to the investors and seeders in the community of startup. We started attending the events of startups and all those things to find some investors who can invest and let us sustain into the market with this idea, and we could develop more uh, of this idea into the app. But after struggling for 1 year for investment, in 2019 December, we got some investor, and uh, I would not release the, like, it was some amount of I would say 1 crore of investment we got for our idea in 2019 December. Yeah. So, but the mistake, the reason of me telling you all this journey and experience of mine is to let you know what mistake I did in that business. So we were so much desperate for the investment that we, instead of finding a good mentor and the uh, having the investment from proper person who could understand the startup and the idea which we have, we were so desperate to have the money that we used to pitch the cab drivers also. Like if we were traveling to somewhere, we would used to communicate with the cab drivers. We used to communicate with the friends. We would communicate with the pedestrian, the shop owners, everybody. We get into contact. We were so desperate that we used to pitch them our idea, or if they want to if they are interested in funding and all those things, because we lost the hope that we would get funding from some official source of startup community and something. So we kept on talking to people around us, and there was one shop owner in Vashi, here in Navi Mumbai itself, who liked this idea, but he wasn't aware about what is startup, what is startup, what is business. He knew what is business. He already had a business, a good a businessman he was, but he didn't know anything about startup. He liked the idea that we were working on it since 2 years. The app is on Play Store. He was fascinated by our idea, and he invested 1 crore in our idea. But what happened after? Anybody? But what happened after like few months, like 3 to 4 months, he started resisting and hesitating to give the other part of investment. So we planned our investment for 2 years, like we would be using this fund for 2 years to sustain and to grow our app and idea. And what happened eventually, after 4 to 5 months, the investor withdrew his interest, and he didn't gave us the rest of funding. Like say for 6 months he gave us 60 lakh rupees, and for rest 4 months he couldn't trust on us, and he just left the idea. And we uh, we got into this trap of exhausting our fund. So we planned our funds in such a way that we had a 1 crore rupees and we would be planning accordingly the business. So we exhausted the money on employees and marketing and all those things. But after he withdrew the investment and we got collapsed, there was no fund left for us to survive. So we still survived somehow with the money which we already invested till 2020 December something, and it has to go down by 2021. So it's no more working right now. So we put our efforts and business strategies for 3 years into this startup called Social, which I was co-founder for. So that was my second journey, second experience that I learned a lot of things from. And yeah, obviously it cost some money, which it would have been cost for my MBA also, but it's okay. I learned lots of things doing business in real life. So after that, in 2020 January, I registered for this third company, which is called as Bombay Bots right now, which I am representing as a proprietor, the sole proprietor, the sole owner. I'm the only owner for this particular idea of Bombay Bots, which deals in uh, product, as ma'am said, in product manufacturing and development of automation and mechatronic systems. So this is the idea of Bombay Bots. We develop automation. How I would explain automation, if just in case anybody doesn't know what is automation and robotics basically. So I would like to take if I can be lame because I don't know much of dental subject, but I'm taking some reference because I've been taking appointments to dentists and all those things. So I've seen the chair over there. So that chair is a total robotic and automation product. So when you take those drillers and suction pen and all those things, so those things are robotic machines and automation things which are being controlled via programming and something. You just click the button, you change the speed, but how things are being processed mechanically and with engineering in background, that that is what I do in my company called Bombay Bots. So I take workshops, I take trainings, I take consultancies for robotics and uh, 3D printing. If anybody knows what is 3D printing, so 3D printing is another domain of mine where I train people and to learn 3D printing, how they can use 3D printing. So people from architecture background, people from interior background, people from medical background, prosthetics, dental, and all those things, they can develop all these things in 3D printing. So 3D printing is one of my domain where I take orders. If you have any kind of orders, if you want to give me, you can surely send me your files and I can 3D print for you. So if you have any denture structure that you have scanned, 3D scan if you are having, or if you are interested in having any kind of project related to 3D printing and printing your denture or retainers or anything, you can contact me and I will see how can I help you out with those things. So basically right now I take orders for everything like interiors, jewelry, engineering, so designing gears and prosthetics, all those things. I would like to share some photos if you basically what is 3D printing. So apart from let me just finish my course, like what I am doing everything in Bombay Bots. After that, if there is any question regarding 3D printing, uh, I will just share you what is 3D printing and what all things you can expect from 3D printing. So apart from 3D printing, I take tenders from government organizations like DRDO, BRC, ISRO, which are very confidential projects, which I cannot disclose about, but I can let you know how these things work. So there are these portals. I'm presenting you my Google Chrome where I will just demonstrate you the websites where I purchase these tenders. So, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these are the different websites. What? It's visible, right? So in Bombay Bots, what I do is like I take this tenders which comes on this different DPS. DPS DAE means Department of Atomic Energy. This is a centralized government portal for all the DAE related organizations related to atomic energy and nuclear energy. All the tenders have been listed on this portal where I can purchase this tender. So it's a supply and warranty of radiometric analysis system. These are something which is not related to my subject, so I don't go for such uh, projects. So whatever is related to robotics and automation or anything that I can do in terms of getting it from third party or getting it done by myself or by inventing it by myself. So for example, there was let me just description personal sampler. So this is one of the tender which I bought around 6 months ago, which is not been listed anymore yet. So you can see the tenders which are active right now. Only those tenders you can see. So the personal air sampler kind of project it was that where I was supposed to develop a sampler, air sampler product with lots of automation requirement which they had, uh, which I was supposed to create algorithm and logic for. I took that project and I am developing that project and it will be delivered in next month. So once if this webinar would have been in February, I would have demonstrated you that particular product which is in development right now and almost final in mode of delivery or shipment, you can say. So this is how I do my business in Bombay Bots by purchasing tenders from government organizations like this DPS, the Department of Atomic Energy or DRC or ISRO. So you can just type e-tenders, and if there is anything you want to do business or you want to sell things, you can just in Google type tenders. So there are lots of portals related to tenders like eProcure, government.in, Mahad. The different states have their own tender portals like state organizations. So Maharashtra में जितने भी जैसे IIT है, so if IIT has any kind of requirement, so they will post their requirement on this particular website. So let me just check DRDO. I'll show you how DRDO का tender works. Career outreach. So when you go into the website of any kind of organization, there is this option called tender career application. If you cannot find, just directly find DRDO tender, search for DRDO procurement. Uh, okay, let me share another portal. I am not able to find specific for DRDO. So this is GEM portal, government e-marketplace. Just like Amazon, see, government has created their own e-marketplace where you can list your products, whatever product you want, you can purchase from this government e-marketplace. And I guess your seniors in your hospital would be knowing about this portal. If they want to buy anything and they are liable to buy only from Indian market and Indian companies, so they are supposed to buy only from GEM portals. These are the new conditions in government organizations right now. So government people can only buy products only from this portal called GEM, GEM. So this is another website where I am registered as a seller. So I list my product over here, whatever I want to sell. So this aluminum hopper basket, which I am selling right now as for a silicon face, a respiratory face. So, okay, I might need to log in. ठीक है, जाने दो। It will take time for me to log in. So this is another place where I do my business from. So GEM portal, this e-tender portal, which I take tenders and uh, manufacture and develop different kinds of automation products for different organizations. And there is this another instrument which I developed in back in 2017. This is called virtual light board. Virtual light board means if we right now in online days, if somebody wants to take the lecture, so if you consider a whiteboard and if the lecturer has to write something, they have to turn their back to the camera, so the back will be facing to the camera. So to resolve that issue and to be more connecting with the listener uh, in online mode, so this is the facility which I created in 2017 called Lightboard Studio. So the what lecturer can do, it has the feature of demonstrating whatever equipment they have in their hand. So they can present that thing live on the screen in their lecture on YouTube or anywhere they are presenting. So basically this Lightboard is for online lecturing only. No, you cannot use this directly in classroom, just like Blackboard or Whiteboard. This is for online. So this is a board for online. So we created this thing in 2017, me and my team. So how you can use this board, you can directly write things on the screen facing the viewer or listener. So you don't have to turn your back while the listener is listening to you. So this is the facility which I invented and developed in 2017, which I am selling through my portal, Bombay Bots. So if somebody has a request, I take those orders on this portal of Bombay Bots, bombaybots.com, regarding Lightboard Studio. So you can share your images, animations, videos, webcams, PowerPoint, screen capture, lots of things you can do with this Lightboard. So the setup looks like this. This is the whole studio. There is a glass board on it, and user will feel that things are being written on its laptop screen or monitor screen. So this is one of my product which I developed in 2017, and recently I have developed few more products for different organizations also. So this is in Pillai College of Engineering right now. People are using, like, there are like almost 5 to 600 lectures and 40 to 50 professors have used this facility in Pillai College of Engineering to demonstrate their capability and their knowledge of subject, which they can globally spread using this facility called Lightboard Studio. This is one of my product which I developed and I'm selling it right now. So this was my whole journey. My screen was being shared, right? Until now. Sorry. Hello.
Hello, sir. You are the host. You can share.
No, was it being shared for last?
Yeah, right now we can see. Yeah.
Okay, for last 10 minutes it wasn't being shared when I was speaking about Lightboard.
Yeah. No. When you are talking about the light board, it was not seen, sir.
Okay. I will just repeat it very quickly in 2 minutes. So this is a Lightboard Studio which I developed in 2017. It's a Lightboard. This is a studio, a dark room, and there is a glass board over here. And a lecturer or professor can use this board for demonstrating their lectures in online mode. So just a second. So this is one of the YouTube channel from one of the organization called Pillai College of Engineering, where I am currently working as a professor also. So this is how they use this Lightboard. So the lecturer can demonstrate whatever live activities they are doing. If they want to demonstrate any kind of experiment or any kind of setup or any kind of equipment, they can directly demonstrate or show those equipments through webcam to the user in the screen. So all these things can be shared live in the screen on YouTube or on recording online lectures and share it to your students. So you can share equipment and instruments using this webcam. And also the major part of creating this lightboard was the faculty is supposed to face the listener and viewer. So this is how the faculty can communicate and be more expressive to the students while explaining things. So this is a e-learning studio. So one can use this to write things, or you can directly present things on this uh, board while taking your lectures. So there are different methods, lot of things that you can do with this Lightboard Studio. Like you can directly display the image, you can directly play the YouTube video, you can annotate or write things in that video, you can write the things on the pictures, you can share your screens. So this was the product which I developed in 2017 as a Lightboard Studio, or Lightboard, which I develop in different organizations. So people are using this thing, like around 40 to 50 faculties have been using these facilities for demonstrating their knowledge of the subject and share it globally to everyone. So this is the one of the product which I developed in Bombay Boards, and I'm selling it off. And right now I'm working on different automation and robotics project, which will be like the first product will be delivered on February to one of the organization, which I bought from some tender portal like this. And this is the another thing which I do in my Bombay Boss is GEM portal. And apart from all this thing, I take 3D printing workshops, consultancies, and robotics and automation workshops, and all those things. So yeah, so I think last 20 minutes is remaining. I would like to convey more thing about my experience through question and answer session. Let me share. Stop share. Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon. So if there is any question related to business and how to start your business, like if there isn't, I already had few questions from Rashmi ma'am, which I would like to address.
Hello. Sir, students are asking, sir.
What's or no?
Students are asking, sir. They have questions.
How can I see those questions? I'm in chat box, but the last thing which I can see very, your voice is breaking. Okay. Attendees, no?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Sir, there are a few questions that we have received from the students.
Yeah, sure. Upcoming
So the first question is, what would be your advice to upcoming innovators and entrepreneurs?
To upcoming innovators and entrepreneurs, my advice would be to explore yourself with your idea as much as possible, rather than investing much of money in developing your organization and into marketing. First, be confident with what is your idea. And once you're confident with your idea, get it verified basically. So once you verify, and who will verify? Who is the one who will verify your idea? Is it right or wrong? So a proper mentor. So the mistake in the second business of mine, the social app which I told you, what went wrong? The person who invested in our idea wasn't from the background of understanding the technology. He was from the business background. What he expected is like, if I am investing 1 lakh rupees and if I am earning 2 lakh rupees, the total profit is 1 lakh rupees, and that is supposed to be shared 50% between two partners. That is the idea which regular businessmen people have. But startup doesn't work like that. Startup is something which you will gain your profits after 5 years, 10 years, and depending on how users respond to your idea, or how your customer responds to your idea. So there are few important things to keep in your mind before uh, getting into innovation or entrepreneur. Innovation is basically you are trying to invent something, or you are trying to develop something. There is not much risk involved in terms of money or something. So once you are done inventing something, the second step is to uh, sell it off, become an entrepreneur or become businessman. So how to do that? So firstly, you are supposed to identify your customers. Who are your customers? Get the feedback from the customers. That is this important part. So if you have the response from the customers, is there really a need of that particular innovation? Is there really a need of that particular product? That will verify your product is really required in market or not. Secondly, how you are going to verify your business idea. So you are done inventing your product, you are done taking the reviews from the customer, it's really needed into the market, fine. How you are going to make it into a business? So you need a particular mentor, a right mentor who knows about that particular market, who knows about that particular product, and who is actually working into that particular domain, and who is a right investor or right mentor for you to verify is if that idea is right or wrong. So once you're done with that, you can get into entrepreneurs and your business might be successful. So this is how you can consider things while upcoming as an innovator and entrepreneurs. So your friends and families are there to give you advice, but those advice will be somewhere partial based on your relation, and it depends if they are knowledgeable about that particular topic or not. So it's better to find a perfect mentor with that particular knowledge of that particular product, subject, and business. So that I would be advising about upcoming innovators. What can be the scope of robotics in precise dental procedures? So I don't know much about what are the different types of dental procedures, but robotics is nearly used in surgeries and all those things right now. So if those things can be used in dental procedures, I guess we can create some kind of robots or automation. Like I had a student who came for making a drill pen. So for cleaning the what do you say, the cavities in the teeth. So he wanted a portable pen like things which he can carry in his pocket or something. So he wanted just a pen, small pen, which he can uncap and try to get the cavities off. So that is one of the automation and robotics procedure which I had came across. So if you have any idea for dental procedures, the automation and robotics can really solve all those things. But how we need the question, right? We need the procedure. If you can let us know the procedure, we can find the solution for that being an engineer. So whatever things you see in your medical journey, all the equipments are the solution of engineering, right? Hope I'm not wrong with that. Will robotic AI overpower human intelligence? Uh, it will overpower human intelligence. It's kind of contradictory question. Human intelligence, AI can never overpower human intelligence, because human is somebody who is creating that AI, right? AI can predict things correctly 99%, which human cannot do. That is the advantage of AI. But we have the benefit over AI because we are creating that AI. We can destroy that AI. We can do all those things. But I don't know how this question is relevant to dental or this thing. But in engineering, yes, AI has gone so much across that beyond the power of human capabilities. It cannot overtake human, but yeah, it can overtake human capabilities. A human cannot do things with 99% perfection, but AI can do. That is where we are using AI just like a machine and just like a car or something to make our things easy and to grow very fast and to develop very fast and to invent things very fast. So that is the application of AI. That is my understanding over your question, if I'm not wrong. There is one more question about private funding. Sir, what account to you would be advised and would be advantage and disadvantage of both government and private fundings? What according to you, okay, what according to you would be advantage and disadvantages of both government and private fundings? So I don't know what kind of fundings you're talking about. If you're talking about the fundings in your projects or in your thesis or in your research, so it doesn't matter if it's government or private. It's about your paper in which journal you are publishing and how you are creating all those things. So take the fund wherever you are getting it from. Just make it reliable by publishing it in good journal so that your research can be acknowledged and accepted, or else your funding, you won't get funding. So once you do publishing in good paper, you will get the funding, and whether it be from government or private, it doesn't matter unless you are meeting your goals and getting some results out of it. DST fundings, yeah, there are government organizations like DST fundings and other fundings which are lots of process and protocols to follow, and you get the fundings, a limited amount of projects and business also. So, but in startup there are very less opportunities through these government agencies. So you the opportunities of fundings from government agencies are very limited in terms of money, but in terms of exploring the uh, business and reach in terms of legal matters, uh, the government fundings are better. So if you have a government fundings, you will have lots of easiness in doing business, but whereas in private funding, the doing business becomes little bit complicated, where you have to do lots of legal activities like filing and all things, and to get the permissions and all those things are very complicated. But if you have a government funding, the permissions of selling those things off becomes very easy. What will be the challenges in this journey specifically? I have an idea how to materialize it towards a product design. So if you have a idea regarding product design, you should just start prototyping it. So you first design one prototype of that particular product, you test that product, and you try to see what is your customer expecting from that product. So if it's meeting the requirement of your customer, you can go get into that product manufacturing and mass production, and you can start selling things. So the materialize, so that is what I think. If you have anything more to discuss on it, you can turn on your mic and talk to me. So just go for prototyping, create that product, test it, get it verified from customers and a particular domain and subject mentors and experts. And then you can start manufacturing that product. So don't invest too much into organization or something, or into legal activities, create your product and test it out first. If you are confident on your product, you can get into copywriting it and then getting into your organization registration for selling it out. If anybody's mic is off. Someone's mic is on.
Yes, sir.
Able to hear certain noise. I don't know whose mic is on and nothing is audible from that side. So these are the things. Just a second, I'm sharing or not. Okay. So these are the things which we 3D print as a prosthetics. So you can print the prosthetic legs or hands or anything, robotic arm or so these all things have been 3D printed. So this is what we 3D print using carbon fibers and all these things. So these are the examples of 3D printing prosthetics. You can 3D print some kind of toys if you want, or games if interested. So all these things can be 3D printed. 3D printed, yeah. So all these kind of toys, or this is a noise amplifier. So all these things can be 3D printed. In medical, so if you want, I had a case of like getting this skull printed, and this jaw replacement was 3D printed. So we 3D printed the skull also, we 3D printed the jaw replacement also. So this was a case order I had. So we just take the order, basically we don't intervene into too much of detail. So I had an order and we created this structure. So this is a bone 3D scan. So we had a scan image once and we 3D printed that scanned image from MRI and all those things. So we just get the file and we do the printing part. So in mechanical, there are lots of things that can be printed, like the parts, the tubes, the gears, all these things can be 3D printed. So these are the power of 3D printing, which we take the orders and supply to our customers. In jewelry also, we take orders in jewelry. So these casts or the mold which we give to the jewelers, they make the cast out of these things and they make the mold which they can cast the gold or silver from. So initial mold is been 3D printed for jewelers in 3D printers nowadays. So in interior also there are lots of things in interiors which we take orders for. So all these lamps and ways, all these things can be 3D printed. There are different flexible materials which has been 3D printed, like rubbers and all these things which we 3D print. The flexible materials can be used in different applications. So in architecture, people, if they want to create some kind of a human anatology, human structure or structure of a building, so they can scan or they can create in 3D modeling software and they can send the files and we can 3D print all these things. This is a 3D printing part, and in denture, I would like to my screen is visible still, right?
Yes, sir, we can see your screen.
21st century digital dentistry is here. EGAR 3D printing resin is EnvisionTech's cost-saving solution for creating biocompatible splints and retainers with maximum visibility and precise fit. What I like about the eGuard material is its clarity. The resin is very, very clear. It's almost like water. And with very, very minimal finishing, you can have a part that's functional.
So
Hello,
this
sir.
is
Your video is not visible.
yeah, it's not visible.
No, the video was not visible.
Okay.
Only
That's what I'm
uh,
asking is if it's being shared or not.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I will share again.
Yeah.
So this is a machine where a resin printer has been available.
now it is
in the-
visible.
Yeah, it's visible. So this is how we print the dentures with a clear resin material. So this can directly print the retainers and all those things into 3D printer. There is no need of casting and molding needed right now. So you can directly send the file and you can get this retainers printed with this particular resin. So there is this website called Thingiverse. So if anybody is interested, they can explore this website called Thingiverse. Taking time. Let's see. So if you go into this website and you just type anything, whatever keywords you have regarding whatever idea you are having for 3D printing or something, you can just type that word in this search option. So denture, if I type denture, so this is a website where you can have ready-made 3D files. So these are the ready-made 3D files if you want to explore or do some kind of projects. So you can directly take these projects and send to me and I can 3D print for you. So you can just click on this and download the file and edit also if you want to edit these files. So basically these are 3D scanned files. So if you have that intraoral scanner and if there is any patient or any case you want to scan and do the 3D printing for, you can save the file and send those files for 3D printing.
Built in the
So this is a method how we do the retainers and dentures in 3D printing. So this is the resin, the wax resin which we use for creating the gum-like structure. So it will create the whole structure layer by layer. So the whole 3D model has been created layer by layer over a time. So this is how 3D printing is done for dentures. So if you have any file, I have this machine for doing that particular thing. So this is how it has been created and the post processing has been done to finish the product and the polishing has been done, the heat treatment has been done to solidify it and to make it hard, and the polishing has been done to make it like a product and make it usable. And this is a biodegradable material which the regular dentists use in their labs, the ceramics, the zinconia and all those things. So all these things can be used in the 3D printers, and this is the teeth which has been designed and been printed with ceramic material. So not actually ceramic, but the some kind of composition which can be easily 3D printed also. So this has been post processed and it has been attached as a denture and it can be used for your purpose. So this is how 3D printing has been used for dental purpose. If it meets your need, you can let me know. And this is the website where you can directly download the files if you don't have scanners or something. There are the files ready-made available on this website called Thingiverse. So all the 3D models to 3D print has been readily available on this website. So you can just explore all these things which I told you today. Let me know, and you can contact me on my email ID if it's been shared with you. Folder scene can't see video. Okay. So I stopped my screen sharing. If there is any more question, I will tackle it.
So there's one more question, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Question we received is regarding metal 3D printing, specifically related to Titan in relation to metal implant.
Your voice is breaking. Can I see the question? Where is it? Is it in
So
chat?
it is in the chat box.
Sir, can threads of screws be 3D printed in TI alloy? TI means titanium. What?
Titanium,
TI?
sir.
Yes, sir. Titanium.
Titanium, right? Titanium can be 3D printed, but it costs too much because the material is very tough. So there are different kind of metal 3D printers available for titanium, which are very costly. And yes, the screws and gears can be done in 3D printing, but to do it with plastics and alloys and non-metal materials, it's very easy and it's very cheap. But to do it for metal, it becomes very costly. Just like your CAD/CAM CNC machinings, it becomes very costly. You can achieve whatever precision you want in 3D printing. It's just a matter of cost. So if you are using non-metal materials, the costs are very less to prototype all those things. So if you use titanium alloy, the cost will be very less. But if you want a pure titanium screw thread, then it will be very costly to get it metal 3D printed. So it would be rather suggested to go for metal CNC machining.
Okay, sir. I think the questions are over. So thank you for patiently answering all the questions.
So by the way, I am traveling out of station, or else I would have shown you all the printers in my lab. So sorry for that.
No, sir, no problem. You've been really patient with answering everything. So all of us, we thank you for the wonderful lecture. I'm sure that everyone is going to benefit from this. I'm sure that everyone is going to benefit from this, and this will definitely stimulate our young minds to become budding innovators. I now request our IQAC coordinator, Dr. Jigna Pathak ma'am, to say a few words. Jigna ma'am. So there must be some connection issue. I'll just check.
So I have posted my email ID in your chat box. So if anybody wants to connect regarding any particular topic, they can drop me a mail.
So Jigna ma'am is coming. I think there's some network issue. She's connecting with me. Jigna ma'am.
Yeah, Dr. Tanvi.
Yes, ma'am. I request you please to say a few words, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, you're not audible.
Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible now.
Dean ma'am is also there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I will just ask the Dean ma'am to just speak to you. Thank you very much, sir, for it was a great honor that you had accepted our invitation at such short notice. It was a wonderful lecture. Thank you very much. 1 minute, I will just hand it over to Dean ma'am. Who would like to express gratitude.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Salim Jafri. I think it was an excellent session. It was, I think, first of its kind in this particular institute. Thank you for sharing your experiences about innovation and startup. I'm sure a lot of our students would be inspired by your talk today. They must have been wondering all these days how to go about these ideas which they have in mind. So in fact, if we have to be frank, I think in the whole medical education, this particular thing is not there as it is in engineering. So I really thank you very much. I saw your profile. I'm extremely impressed with the kind of achievements you have made at such a young age. So I'm sure that they would have taken a lot of your valuable inputs, the students as well as the faculty who attended. We would wish to have you here in person sometime in future and actually give some hands-on tips and go about. So we would now expect our students to actually draw up some kind of a design and whatever they want to actually put it in action. Thank you very much, Mr. Salim.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dean Madam, for your words. So now we would like to felicitate you with a certificate. Thank you again for coming today online to give your beautiful lecture. And please accept this felicitation from us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so now there will also be a feedback form which will be shared soon. So I request everyone to kindly fill the same to avail the certificate for this session. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, so much for conducting this session for us. Now we will end this session for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello. We require a photograph for IIC presentation. I request all the student members and also the faculty to please put the screen on so that we can take a print screen of same. I request all faculty members and students
I think Rashmi, you'll have to enable everyone to be able to turn the video mode. That will enable everyone.
Ma'am, we have taken the photograph. Thank you so much, everyone. Now we would like to end the session for today. Thank you, sir, once again for conducting this session for us. Thank you so much.
आपने लिंक चला गया